everyone. We're going to get started with this webinar, which is going to address the future of Florida's real estate. And let me just start by presenting and introducing our guest of honor, Ms. Nicole Peterson. Hello, Nicole. Thank you so much for coming and being a part of this. I really value your experience and your knowledge. So again, thank you. I know you're very busy, and we're fortunate to have you here.
Thank you very much for having me.
I want to talk a little bit about how we met, but also your 26 years of mortgage industry experience.
Started when I was 10. Don't tell anybody.
Love it. I love it. Can you tell me a little bit about how you got into the business?
Sure. So I finished up college and started with an organization called Norwest. Within that organization, did a multitude of different things. And what I enjoyed the most was mortgage and real estate and helping clients to go down the homeownership path. And so very early, I realized that that was a passion for me. So for 26 plus years, that's what I've been doing. And within that, for about 25 and a half of those years, I've really focused my time on new construction. It is a passion that I have. I truly enjoy the relationship building that transpires through that process, and just being able to really understand my customers, their short-term, their long-term needs, and to cultivate relationships within the new construction and the real estate area.
Fantastic. And I do want to talk a little bit about how we met. And that was through your new construction industry experience through Truist. So when we were building Serena by the Sea very early on into the process, I started looking for a reputable bank that could be our partner. I wanted to have a solution for those customers that wanted to purchase new construction. And I wanted a name, a big name, and somebody that had fantastic products that we could offer our clients. And so that's how the relationship between Truist and Valor Capital came about. Truist was our preferred lender for Serena by the Sea during those initial, before, shovel in the ground era, I want to call it, now 3 years ago. And you did help us out with many loans, and through the process of getting approved through your underwriters. And it was a fantastic experience for not only for us as developers, but for the clients that you helped, myself included.
Well, thank you for the opportunity to get to have done that. And yes, that was a very, in-depth and cultivated relationship. And it was such a pleasure to have the opportunity to work with you on that. And just to go hand in hand and take the two organizations, Truist and Valor, and bring together what is now Serena by the Sea, just an absolute luxurious organization place, and for everyone that's there, and what we've all gotten to experience as we've walked through this together.
And because we now, we've been able to build on that foundation, I know that you will be able to help us with our future projects, which we're going to talk about towards the end of this webinar. So stay tuned, guys. All right. So just a little bit about me. I also began my real estate career when I was 10. Okay. All right. 6 on the screen. Fine. I began in Miami. My mother, a single parent of 3, she worked at a real estate company in Miami. And I was fortunate enough to be able to go to her office after school and just witness how fantastic all of the realtors looked. They were coming in with these contracts, and every time they had a contract, they would ring the bell, and then they would all go out to lunch and celebrate and bring their families over. And I thought, what do I want to be when I grow up?
What else would you be, right?
You want to be, right? But no, my stepfather would have nothing about that. He said, "Oh, you're going to college and you're going to get a computer science degree." So I am a little bit of a nerd, but yeah, my love for real estate never ceased, and that's how it came about that I am now the vice president of sales and marketing for Valor Capital. Very proud to be here with my team, and I want to just go over the next slide because it'll give you a little bit of a transition as far as to where I am now, helping you guys buy new construction and working with Nicole, in contrast to what I was doing back in the day. So this slide that I'm going to show you here is from 12 years ago. Look at that. Oh my goodness.
You're like a fine wine. You just get better with age.
Oh, a little brunette and a little less wrinkles. But look at what's really important here. And there is a number at the top right that says $150,000. Yes, that's a $150,000 fourplex, not a duplex, but a fourplex that I sold in Dunedin, Florida. So let's just look at the property description just a tad, because you're going to see what these rents were doing back then. So this is important for us to look at. We had a cap rate of 12% with this rent of totaling $2,884. Actually, $650 for a 2-bedroom.
Wow.
That's 12 years ago, guys. And this was
not that long ago.
Not long ago.
Not.
So I just wanted to give you guys a little glimpse at, what happened 12 years ago and where I was at when I was a traditional real estate transactions realtor. I am a licensed real estate agent. I own 2 brokerages here in Florida, and all I do is focus on building my team and helping my team sell this beautiful new developments that Valor Capital is building. That's where I dedicate my time. But it's fortunate for me, my clients, and the developer that I have this experience to be able to tell you I was here, guys. Okay, this isn't just some statistic that I'm showing you, which I will show you, but this is actually real life stuff that I actually witnessed. $150,000. I would snap 10 of these right now if they were available, but the truth of the fact is that there isn't. So this next slide shows you what, as of today, the Dunedin income property market is doing right now. We have got no fourplexes in inventory, nothing, zilch, nada, nothing pending, nothing, zilch, nada. I ran a search for what fourplexes had sold within the last year, and this is what came up. Three income properties, fourplexes, like the one that I just showed you, that sold for $150,000. The closest one to that one would be 555,000 sold at 1301 North Lotus Drive, which is right in the area where the one that I sold, which address you can look it up, is 141 New York Avenue. And you can see what I sold it for. From 12 years ago, if I had that property on the market right now, I would list it for $500,000. That's what I would do.
But don't take it from me. By the end of the day.
Exactly. But don't just take it from me, because there's big guys out there that can tell you a lot more about the market. And let's talk about this slide here. So remember, I told you I would show you boring stats. This is not so much of a boring stat, right? It shows you what has happened within 30 years of a real estate market values. And you see these gray lines here. Those are market crashes, recessions, and whatever happened, this line keeps going up. And so we are up here right now. What do you think about this graph, Nicole? Can you talk a little bit about what you see here?
Well, I mean, the first thing, Regina, that points out to me is, what are we seeing? We're seeing growth, right? We're seeing year over year. Yeah, we've got some adjustments there that are going to be common to be made. But when you look at real estate, it's on a positive trajectory. You're seeing growth. It's not going to cost you less to buy something, right? So taking that into appreciation, using that appreciation rather, and taking that into as a investment for yourself and your family, the numbers don't lie. They're right here in front of us. We're seeing year over year growth and an amazing use of your money for return on investment.
You said something really important. You said for you and your family. And one of the things that I was thinking about this morning, Nicole, is, well, what am I really going to say, to our audience, and how am I going? Look, I don't have a crystal ball. All I'm going to do is tell you what happened when I was on the field working traditional real estate, what's happening right now while I'm on the field working new construction luxury real estate. Go and buy real estate. Go and buy it for yourself. Go and buy it for your children. Go and buy it for anyone you can, if you can. If you can buy real estate, you should buy real estate, because the United States of America will become a renter's nation. In the future, their affordability, we just cannot keep up with it. They cannot keep up. So that's what I wanted to pinpoint the fact that you said your family. If you really think about where to put your assets and looking at this graph, I personally, Regina, with my background, I would definitely buy real estate for my family and myself.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So let's just talk about stats. Okay, here I go. On a national level, the appreciation rate has been around 3.8 per year during the last 30 years, according to a report by Black Knight. However, this average can fluctuate widely based on the specific period and location that you're examining. For a broader perspective, since 1991, the average annual home price increase has been reported at 4.3. This rate increased slightly to an average of 4.7 since 2000. And since 2012, the average rate has been even higher at 7.7%. So yeah, that's incredible, right? These figures really show how real estate appreciation can fluctuate over time on an upward trend. But that is definitely influenced by economic conditions, interest rates, as we know, and real estate housing market dynamics. So calculating future appreciation, it really involves considering these historical averages and applying them to the current value of a property. I'm going to give you an example, not using the one that I just showed you, but for instance, a home valued at $300,000 today with an assumed annual appreciation of a modest 4% would be expected to appreciate to around $972,000 over 30 years, marking a 224% increase in value. Now, I think that's really modest, Nicole. Gary, I showed you at the beginning of this webinar. Do you agree?
Completely. I feel like you're using very conservative information, but yet if you look at that, just like we talked about, for your family, you buy this 30 years later, we don't know your short and long-term goals. Every person's on this, that's hearing this. However, for yourself, for your family, for your future, right here, you just 224% return on your investment. Sign me up. Yeah. Right now. I'll take two.
Is no longer, renter's nation. So hurry up and go and buy some property. Hey, Nicole can help you guys. Okay. I want to just talk about the Federal Housing Finance Agency and the House Price Index. So here at Valor Capital, we research the market like no other. We get really granular. And this is just one of many tools that we use in order to figure out what's happening and predict what's going on and which markets we're really going to get bullish on. So this tool is a comprehensive measure of the movement of home prices in our country. The index reflects changes in home values based on millions of home sales and refinancing transactions that date back to the mid-1970s. Because you've got to understand the past in order to understand the future, okay? So we have to study that and become educated about what happened in the past. It also includes data from 50 states and over 400 American citizens. Nicole, what do you think this organization uses to weight this values. From everything that I've learned, they use repeated sales that are statistical to analyze the house price transaction, right? So how do you think Case Schiller, I always say it with my accent, Schiller, you can say that a lot better than I can. Isn't this the same tool that they use?
They do. And actually, I like the way you said it. I think it has a nice little ring to it. So yes, they do. They actually use the same analytics on, when they're measuring their data, which gives you more than one area to see that these numbers, like you said, you guys go very granular. You're going to do quite a bit of research as you're going into different areas, which obviously you're very much here. You're very embedded here in this area. And it just provides a broad and accurate indicator of house price trends in various different geographical locations.
For sure. And this slide that I'm showing you right now gets granular regarding Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay at 8.3% over the last year. We're number 36 out of the top 100 metros area. This is a fantastic tool, you guys. I'm happy to give you this link so you can do your own research here. But this is not me telling you that house prices keep rising and that they will keep rising. This is the Federal Housing Finance Agency, the big boys out there that do all of the research day and night, just like we do. And here, this is very specific data about the house price index, and it includes both sales prices and appraisal data, which you know a lot about, Nicole. It provides quarterly updates on the changes in home values. So here in this actual slide, you can see where I'm pointing my arrow, Q4 of 2023, the index stood at 657.67, demonstrating the continuous evolution of house prices over time.
In adding into that, Regina, just something you said that kind of just struck me. This is also inclusive of properties that have resold, right? So when we think of that, that makes me think of our Serena by the Sea clients who purchased pre-construction, and since they have been able to see the benefits of all that of their investment that they've already resold, and that's included in this data.
100%. So they identify repeat transactions for each property that has been sold or appraised more than once. The price changes between transactions, they are recorded. They also adjust for factors that can affect the price independently of market trends, such as the time between the transactions, the property improvement, and the economic conditions. The transactions are weighted based on factors like the recency and the relevance to the current market conditions, and they do an aggregate of the data. Yeah, this is just a little bit more of the granular data that you can get from this website and the calculations that they do. You can go statewide, you can go citywide, and I highlighted Tampa, St. Petersburg because you can see our ranking. You can see Q1, year 1, 5 years, and then since 1991, how we have appreciated. There's nothing negative values here. We are on a positive upward trends.
And Regina, just kind of what you were just speaking on that, there are no negative evaluations for our markets. In some locations there are, but just kind of pointing out here in this area, in our Tampa Bay area, we're seeing all positive trends. So it's something really to consider when you're trying to make these kinds of decisions. Here, this is where you want to be.
Absolutely. And I think one of the things that we need to talk about, I'm not going to get into politics at all here in this webinar, let's not do that. So I'm just going to gear my attention to population and the trends. This is one of the important factors that I found really keep pushing our values up consistently, is that, look at this, we ranked number 2 as far as population growth. This is from the Census Bureau, so another reputable site. Happy to give you this data, but what that means is that no wonder the values keep going up, and no wonder there is no active inventory. Now, we're seeing in the market that there are more listings popping up, but those listings are older, they're traditional real estate. Now builders are building. Serena by the Sea is seeing some resales. Marina Bay 880 is seeing some resales. So we're still catering to the population growth, but the inventory cannot keep up with it. So values will keep rising.
Well, some interesting data that I had looked up in, speaking of this with inventory, right now we're only at a 3.9 month inventory set. Okay. Wow. So that is still considerably lower than where we need to be. So new construction is really going to be your platform. Yeah. We have so many people coming into the state of Florida, into our metropolitan area, that the way to serve them, and it's being done. You can see permitting numbers, you can see land development numbers, you can see all of these numbers that again support what we have been talking about in this data. So where's that?
Absolutely. And, the changes that spark conversation is, is it a buyer's market now, or is stabilizing, or is no longer a seller's market? And I want to shift that conversation a little bit, like maybe it's not that it's either a buyer's market or a seller's market. Maybe the market's stabilizing, because I remember when we used to have listings up on the active lists for 6 months, and then everything changed and we got into bidding wars. That's not normal. That's not a normal market. That is a very heavily weighted seller's market. So what I feel is happening right now is that 90 days that you're on the market is stabilized, as opposed to the 6 months that we used to have to wait on the market. Now we're 90. Okay, 90 days. 90 days is not, terrible. It's not 6 months. It is just a stabilized market. It's neither sellers or buyers. Values can fluctuate. They can go, if that seller really needs to sell tomorrow, he's going to lower his price a bit. He's not going to drop it to under market value, but he's just going to stabilize it because sellers got very, very confident is the word I'm going to use with the pricing. And realtors really struggled with that because then we didn't appraise. We had nothing to compare it to. I mean, you can speak to that, Nicole. Appraisals are very important for you.
Very important, right? And that is what we're seeing. We're not seeing, a reduction. The word that you use, stabilizing. We're in a growth market. There's still quite a bit of activity, considerable amounts of activity still transpiring and going on. But it does give us a little bit of a moment to make a really good, sound, short and long-term decision versus this complete rush of trying to do different things. We now can have a very thought out, mindful decision-making process for both seller and buyers. So I think we're in a very good place, all things accounted for.
100%. This is another very interesting slide from the Florida Realtors Association, the voice of real estate in Florida. Nearly 32% of home sales in Q4 were newly built. New construction accounted for a large share of home sales in 2023 Q4 because home building has increased and the number of homeowners selling has decreased. The homeowner selling has decreased. So inventory shortens. Those homeowners do not want to sell their houses. They want to retain their low interest rate mortgages. And so they're going to hold on to their property. So, listen, Valor Capital is bullish on Florida. What can I tell you? We've done the research. We're confident. We build beautiful developments. Serena by the Seas and Skyview are two of the most beautiful places in Clearwater to live in, very sought after. So we want to give you the confidence to give you to do your own, to have your own opinions. And you can read it for yourself. Your predictions for 2024. The median home sales price rose 4.5% year over year from 386,000 to 404,000 in January. Look, guys, interest rates have hiked up. They're 7.28. What, Nicole, you probably have something a little bit more up to date than this, but I don't think it's far from that. And that, again, is not high. That is a stabilized interest rate. You can speak with this, Nicole.
Yeah. And, I think just like you mentioned, we both were speaking about inventory, right? So I think it's just our culture. It's, the way we all think. We can have a short-term memory, right? But if you look at the data, if you look at data over 50, 55 years worth of data that has been tracking interest rates, okay? And it's 7-ish, we're going to call it rate, because we've got some below, we've got some above, just depending on different product lines and variabilities. We're still in about the 6 to 5% of the lowest interest rates we've seen. That's still staggering good information. And, I think we've all probably heard it, it's marry the house, date the rate, which was kind of a little bit of a tagline, right? But there's truth to that. There's depth to that. If you're finding the home, you're finding the location that works for you, works for your family, works for your investment strategies. Most people have the ability to, refinance later on, if they're still in the home. Rates change, make market adjustments. You can always take advantage of those opportunities later.
100%. And as I said before, if you can, you should purchase real estate. So if, there is, I'm not very stock savvy. I'm not going to say I've got all this, stocks in line. So I'm not going to go in there and leave that to my husband. That is, if it's real estate, touch it, I can feel it. And I'll just sit on that and wait until the market appreciates and the interest rates go down and everything stabilizes. In the meantime, guess what? You might rent it. Rents are not doing bad. This is a rental nation. I cannot find a luxury home that's available for rent for less than $10,000 a month. And even, and I say luxury with a relaxed sort of terminology to that. It's, here in Florida, we have the good fortune of stepping outside and going to the beach and feel like we're in a luxurious environment. We live where other people vacation. So the rental market is very tight here and rents keep going up. As I showed you back 12 years ago, you could rent a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom unit for $600. That is no more. No more.
Not even close.
With that said, Nicole, I'd like to speak about Valor Capital and our new projects because we do want to help build more communities and better communities. And Clearwater, Florida has a soft spot in my heart. So this project you see to the left, we are working on branding and giving this gorgeous towers a name, but for now we're going to call it Clearwater, Florida. We have 2 35-story skyline towers right on the water overlooking the Bay and the Gulf of Mexico, right by the Clearwater Bridge, the one that takes you straight into Clearwater Beach. This will top any luxury development in the area. So we call it ultra luxury finishes.
We're gonna have to invent a new name for you guys. You guys keep just upping the bar so high. We're gonna have to come up with new names for them.
Yeah, that's right. We will be the first branded luxury condo residences. So stay tuned for what that branded name will be. But I can guarantee you that when you hear it, you will be like, wow, that's amazing for Clearwater and anywhere in our county. So 223 condo units could be more or less that amount. But yeah, we will have the largest resort style amenities in the area. So you think Serena by the Sea has 5-star resort style amenities? Wait until you see what we're cooking up for this towers. I can't wait. Yeah.
I honestly don't know how you could make them better. I really just don't. You guys just do it top notch.
We're very excited. St. Petersburg, downtown St. Petersburg, guys. Beautiful location, urban luxury here. 25 stories. And this will be a condo hotel tower in partnership with Roger Bobois of Paris. La la. I am telling you, if you want to feel like you're walking into a New York style designed or party designed condo project, this is it. We will be offering 150 condo units, and we will have also an ultra luxury amenity package, and it will be a mixed use development. So you can think with dining and a retail experience on the ground floor with a beautiful open plaza. These are not the only renderings that I'm going to show you, but I want you guys to stay tuned, because when we're finished with our branding package and naming this project, you will be wowed. If you followed the evolution of Serena, you know that we do build what we promise. So make sure that you sign up. There's going to be a link at the end of this webinar. I want to talk about Daytona Beach Shores. Who here knows the history about Daytona Beach Shores? I mean, one of the most beautiful beaches in America. We have 18 stories of oceanfront condo towers right on the sand. 80 condo units ranging from 1,000 square feet to 2,300 plus penthouses. We are going to have a luxury tower with another amazing branded partner. So stay tuned for that one as well. Daytona, you haven't seen it coming yet. This is going to be, I'm so excited about Daytona, guys. I mean, every time we go over there, it's like, well, let's get this project going. Another mixed use development with a bakery, coffee shop, fine dining experience, and an ocean club, an oceanfront beach club with beach access. This is going to knock the boots off any luxury branding partner I've seen so far, and will elevate the area as well. So you guys, that's it. We're bullish on Florida. What can I say? I hope that I gave you enough information so that you can form a well-informed opinion and really look into investing in real estate. It is the one product that has done me right since I was a 16-year-old girl in the industry. I have seen this really played out and helped others financially, and also just plain all becoming homeowners and being able to call the place that you love home. So I want to thank you again, Nicole, for coming and being a part of this webinar. We have our phone number here. Please feel free to email me at sales@valorc.com. You can give us a call at this number, 727-732-3960. And I hope you enjoyed this webinar and this information. Have a phenomenal week. God bless.